All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over how to calculate the isoelectric point and the Zwitterion for amino acids. So, to start off with some definitions. First, what is the isoelectric point? Well, the isoelectric point is just a fancy way of saying at what pH is the molecule in question or amino acid have a zero net charge. So it's a number, it's a pH value. The Zwitterion, on the other hand, is just a fancy word of saying what does the physical molecule or amino acid actually look like at zero net charge. Now, zero net charge does not necessarily mean zero charge. We could have two positive charges and two negative charges on an amino acid, for example. And the molecule does have charges, but they're equal. There's two positive and two negative, so they cancel each other out. So that's technically the zero net charge. So first, let's do glycine. Calculate the isoelectric point and Zwitterion for glycine. Glycine is the easiest amino acid, so I thought this would be the best place to start. And then the next amino acid is going to be histidine, which is a little bit harder. So the first step you need to do is draw a glycine. Glycine has that alpha carbon carboxylic acid group, the amino group, and the R group, which is a hydrogen. The next thing you have to do is identify the pKa values for certain functional groups. Now, on a test, quiz, or problem set, these numbers are usually given to you. If they are not directly given to you, your professor usually will provide some kind of table with numbers on it, the pKa values for certain functional groups. And all you have to do is match up the functional groups to that chart he or she gives you. But more likely than not, it's usually given. They'll tell you the pKa values for functional groups. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to identify what are the pKa values for the functional groups. So the carboxylic acid functional group has a pKa of 2.34. The pKa for the amino group has a 9.6 value for a pKa. The next step is what I like to call the number line method. This is the easiest way I found to calculate the isoelectric point in the Zwitterion. Some people just memorize on how to do it, but I think for learning, this is the best way. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a line. That's wrong color. There we go. You're going to draw a line. And on this line, you're going to draw or label the pKa values from lowest to highest. So let's do that. So if this is the lowest part of the line, we'll say this is 2.34 as stated on the molecule right here. This was given to you right there. And on the other side, we have a 9.6. So that's all the way on the other side of the other end here. 9.6. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to write the functional group the pKa is responsible for. For example, the 2.34 belongs to the carboxylic acid. So we're just going to write the carboxylic acid here, which is just COOH. And the 9.6 belongs to the amino group. So let's do that, NH2. Sweet. Okay, now the next step is you're going to go all the way to the left of the number line, all the way to the left. So we're talking about this point right here. And you're going to draw the amino acid, but when you draw it, you're going to protonate every functional group you can. So let's do that. So we got the alpha carbon, that stays the same. The hydrogen stays the same. The hydrogen on the R group stays the same. The carboxylic acid is already protonated. You cannot protonate that anymore, so you're going to leave that alone. Like that. Now, what's different is the amino group. We can actually protonate it. You can turn an NH2 to an NH3. So that's what we're going to do. Like that. And when you do that, the nitrogen gets a positive charge. That's very important. And that's it. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to the right-hand side now. And we're going to deprotonate anything that can be deprotonated. Any functional group that can be deprotonated. So let's do that. We got our alpha carbon. Hydrogen stays a hydrogen. The hydrogen stays a hydrogen. Now the carboxylic acid can be deprotonated into a carboxyl group. Like that. Oh, let me draw the negative charge here in a different color. Like that. It gets a negative charge. The amino group goes from an NH3 as we drew to an NH2. We just deprotonated it. It cannot have an NH. The nitrogen will be deficient of bonds. Okay. Now, here's the next step. And this is how you find the Zwitter ion. The reason we drew these labels here, think about them as boundaries. And when you cross that boundary, there's only one functional group which you can change. So what do I mean by this? So we're going from here to here, this way. That requires us to cross this boundary of 2.34, the carboxylic acid boundary. So that means the only functional group that you're going to change is the carboxylic acid, because you're crossing the carboxylic acid boundary. I think it's the best way to explain it. So, go to our alpha carbon, our hydrogen, which is the R group. The carboxylic acid turns into a carboxyl group with a negative charge. So we just deprotonated because we crossed the carboxylic acid boundary which we created. The amino group stays the same because we did not cross that amino boundary. NH3. This is positive. Notice what we did though. So just say we're going from here to here. We're crossing the NH2 boundary. So the only thing that changes is from an NH3 to an NH2. Because we crossed that boundary. The carboxyl group stays the same because we didn't cross that boundary. We're looking at this. This is the only thing we change. Now here's the next step. You're going to count the number of charges on each molecule. So for this left one, we have one positive charge, so it's a +1 total. The one on the very right-hand side has one negative charge. So we're going to note that as a -1. The middle one now, it has a positive charge and a negative charge. One positive and one negative. So they actually cancel each other out. So it's a 0. Zwitter. 0. And this is the Zwitter ion. So this molecule we just created, is the Zwitter ion. Because remember, the definition states, the Zwitter ion is just a fancy word of saying, what does the molecule look like at 0 net charge? Well, we have a 0 net charge, right? The 0. So that's the Zwitter ion. Now, how do you calculate the isoelectric point? So the isoelectric point has a formula to it. It's denoted as Pi. So that's Pi is the isoelectric point. That's how you abbreviate it. So Pi, or isoelectric point, equals pKa of 1 plus pKa of 2 divided by 2. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We have two pKa values that were given to us. Right here and right here. 2.34 and 9.6. So that's what we're going to use. So 9.6 plus 2.34 divided by 2. Sorry, just get my calculator out. 5.97. And this is the isoelectric point, 5.97. That's the pH at which you'll find the Zwitter ion, the molecule at 0 net charge. So at 5.97 is exactly the point where you will see the Zwitter ion show up in a solution. Let's do something more difficult now. Histidine. Histidine now has 3 pKa values. We have our usual carboxylic acid, we have that amino group, but now we have an NH group here with a pKa of 6. So how do we do this? We're going to use the exact same method we just did. Nothing different. Make the line. So we start with 2.34. That's the lowest, and that's the carboxylic acid. Then we get 6. That's the next highest. So 6. And this is the NH group. Then we have 9.6, which is the amino group. What am I doing? NH2. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go all the way to the left and draw everything protonated, if it can be protonated. So let's do that. Let's draw this in green. So the carboxylic acid's already protonated, so you can't do anything there. The hydrogen's there. The NH2 becomes an NH3 because we can do it. The CH2 is a CH2. The carbon is a carbon. The NH is just an NH, not an NH2, because the only one in question is this one. If they did not list pKa values for this one, don't worry about it. CH, NH with a positive charge, which I'll draw in a second. And this is a positive charge. And this is the positive charge. Okay. That's everything protonated that we can protonate. We cannot protonate this NH more because if you realize that we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bonds to nitrogen. It cannot have 5. That's impossible. So that's why we know we cannot go any further. So now let's do the opposite now. We're going to go all the way to the right-hand side and deprotonate everything we can. Okay, now this is now just a nitrogen now, a lone nitrogen. Sorry, that's like ugly. But nitrogen does not have a negative charge because it has 1, 2, 3 bonds. Nitrogen loves to have 3 bonds. That's what it favors. So it has no charges on it. And this is a negative charge. Okay. Now, let's do this section right here, this boundary here. So we're crossing the carboxylic acid boundary. We're going this way now. So the only thing we deprotonate is the carboxylic acid. The NH3 stays in NH3 because we did not cross that NH3 boundary. CH2, carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen here. CH. This stays as the same because we did not cross that boundary. Excellent. Oh, and then one here. All right. Now let's do NH. So we're talking about this section right here. We're crossing that NH boundary now, so that's the only thing we're going to change now. We're going to leave everything as it is from the left-hand side, so everything here stays the same except this NH group. So let's do that. NH3, CH2, NH, CH, and now that's an N now because we are crossing that boundary, that NH boundary right here. We're crossing it, so we deprotonate it. If you go to the right, we deprotonate. If you go to the left, we protonate. And then let me finish up the molecule here, and it's a double bond here. Okay. And then this is a positive charge. All right, and that's the molecule. Now we already did the next step, right? We crossed that NH2 boundary and we changed the NH3 and we depronate to an NH2. So what's the Zwitter ion? Well, let's calculate that. So we got 2 positive charges here, so that's a 2 plus overall. Here we got 2 positives and 1 negative. So they cancel each other out, and so we get a net of positive 1. Here we have a positive and negative, so that's a 0. So this is the Zwitter ion, basically. We found the Zwitter ion, a 0. And here is a negative 1, just 1 negative charge, so it's a negative 1 here. Okay, and that's the Zwitter ion. So let me just draw here, Zwitter. Now, how do we calculate the isoelectric point if we have 3 pKa's? Well, this is why I did the number line method. Because what you're going to do, first step is, you're going to look at where the Zwitter ion is located. And then you're going to look at the boundaries to the very left of it and to the right of it. So here's the Zwitter ion. The boundary to the most left is the 6. The boundary to the most right is 9.6. And these are the 2 values you're going to use for your pKa, for your isoelectric point. So it goes 6 plus 9.6 divided by 2. 7.8. And that is our isoelectric point. So Pi equals 7.8. So no matter if you had 15 pKa values, you're going to look at the Zwitter ion and find the boundaries that lock in that Zwitter ion. What's the pKa directly to the left and directly to the right? And those are the numbers you're going to use for your pKa. Don't use all the numbers and then divide it by 3 or 2 or whatever. Don't do that. That's not going to be correct. So just remember, when you draw this number line, anything to the left gets protonated and anything to the right gets deprotonated. So for example, let's look at NH2 here. Since anything to the left gets protonated, anything to the left of this, the NH2 becomes an NH3. And anything to the right of it gets deprotonated to an NH2. Let's look at nitrogen hydrogen here, the NH group here. Anything to the left gets protonated, which we did, gets protonated. And anything to the right of this boundary gets deprotonated. So nothing and nothing gets deprotonated. And that's it. That's how you calculate the Zwitter ion and isoelectric point. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And until next time, later.